Hello, I'm Jane and this is Andy.
Hi. Not so sunny in Spain this morning, a bit on the chilly side. Here's our Hymer Camp 55, which we had since about last November, I think. It's done about 140,000 kilometres. It's 2.5 turbo diesel and 4x4.
Doris.
Yeah, she's called Doris and she's got air suspension on the back. Come have a look around. You can see in the engine compartment, it's an extremely clean engine. I don't know if you can see down into there a little bit. Jane might tilt the camera just a little bit. Very, very clean engine, but then it's quite low mileage for the age of the van, 1991. Come around to the side. I'll show you the outside gas locker first. As we're here in Spain, it takes two full-size, approximately 12 kilo butane cylinders, which is good. Only one in there at the moment. Press that into the lock. Passenger side cab as we're here. Open that's better. As you can see, the passenger seat, we've got the knob on here for the leisure batteries. We have it set on both because we've got a leisure battery under the passenger seat, and there's also one extra one under the one of the bench seats in the back. But you can set it to 1, both, 2 or off to isolate them. Also underneath this seats there's an array of relays and so on, and behind here you can just about catch the rear end of the inverter. So the only thing I don't like about the Fiat cab is no decent cup holders, so when you're driving along it's very difficult. So we've got these boingy ones here, which just about suffice for lightweight drinks. Quite a basic sort of cab setup, and quite common, rather similar to the Talbot I think as well. This Fiat Ducato. Anyway, quite a good heater in here for when it's cold, which is not that often actually in Spain, apart from this year seems like. Well, we'll head around the outside first. We've got a point here which is rather like a tyre valve. Well, it is essentially a tyre valve, where we put between 2 and 4 bar maximum in for the rear air suspension. Fresh water is filled from here. We've got the vents here for the fridge, and the gas flue. It's a three-way fridge, so it can work off the mains hookup and gas, and while you're travelling off the vehicle 12-volt battery. And if you get any problems with the flue maybe not lighting or not staying alight, then there's access hatch down here, and the actual sorry, not with the flue, with the pilot light, whatever, is just inside this hatch. The other nice touch about these Hymers is inside the rear bumper, these are sprung ends, and there's a big pipe that runs the width of the van almost, and that's for your grey waste, which attaches to the tank just under here. I don't know if you can actually see, but there's the valve here for emptying, and the pipe that's in the bumper for storage attaches on there. Then got the Thetford cassette. The toilet is in here. Just press down the flap and slide her out. There we go. And also there's enough of a storage here to actually store a couple of bottles, whatever's needed. Further along, electric hookup. Just pull that out there. And then we've got the Truma boiler flue here, ventilation. This access hatch here basically is just for all our junk underneath the bench seat inside, but for the emergency triangle and so on, we can get to it a lot quicker from the outside, which is what you need if you break down or whatever, God forbid. And very quickly, the inside from the driver's side to open the bonnet. You've got the latch here, as in most vehicles, to be honest. Not really much to show. It's quite sort of basic in here, but it's quite comfy to actually ride along in. She's maybe a bit noisy being a diesel. I mean, you've got to think it is a van that you're basically driving. Diesel in there. Right, there we go. On ours, when we got it, there was a problem with the window at the top. So the company we actually got it through put a very nice plate across, so we've got no water ingress. There was no water ingress anyway, but there's a crack. So and getting a replacement would have been impossible or difficult. So basically, they put that plate on there, which makes it look pretty much how it was before, except there's no light for it. And going inside, I'll let Jane go up first. It could be a little bit dark in here because we're not actually got hooked up to the mains at the moment. Although I can from the control panel, if I just do the control panel first. We've got the vehicle battery. How good that is. It usually hovers somewhere around about the 12 volts. The leisure battery won't show anything at the moment, and nor will the water tanks until, oh sorry, the wrong way, put the supply on from the leisure batteries. So then we've got the vehicle supply, and it then will show the condition of the leisure battery, one of at least, which is always just about 13 point something. It will also then light up to show the water tanks, which are both currently empty anyway, although they're not very reliable. We've got the heating control for the gas fire, during the gas fire down here, which auto lights runs from gas, and you can have the fan on as well with that if you want to. And there's vents all the way through the van. You can see some of the outlets down here, whatever. You won't be able to see the ones very easily where the dog cage is, so we put the dogs in there when we're travelling. So you've got your leisure on and off there. So at least we've got some lights, although these are the original lights, so in this sort of daytime they're not going to be effective at all. Maybe one day we might fit LEDs. We have got some strips actually, almost direct replacements for those. The other control on here is for the actual water boiler itself. If I turn that on, she'll go green, but in a few seconds she'll go red as showing a fault. That's because the boiler can't actually light because the gas is off at the moment. There was a little click, but that was while I was talking. So there we go, it's gone red. And again, you set the water temperature that you want on there. We've got, if you're on mains hookup, we've got 230 volts there. And let's turn that back off. Up in here, it's the old TV cupboard, I believe. There's also another main socket up there, should we need one when on hookup. Lots of storage all the way around, even on top actually is storage. As you can see, the bed made there expertly by Jane. More storage over here, and basically another brown socket down here, which is mains again. But also when we're on the inverter, we've also got a couple under here for running 230 volt off the leisure batteries in the inverter. We also have a modem in here when we're travelling, which we connect up with our home VPN, so that we can actually get British TV while we're out and about here in Spain. We've also got USB sockets here and a 12-volt cigarette type lighter supply there, which works when on mains hookup only. More storage up here above the kitchen area. There's the freeway fridge. It's got a full length frozen compartment up there, and it certainly does work. Two ring, not been cleaned since the last trip. It's against Jane's religion, I think, to do that, so it's down to me when I get around to it. Anyways, two ring hob. Here's the controls for the fridge. Green when you're on the mains, 12 volts off the vehicle battery when you're moving. Now the word about the fridges is you need to get it up to temperature off a mains hookup for a good 24 hours before you actually leave on your travels from home or wherever. Then once you've got it to the fridge to temperature, and the freezer compartment especially, then it will stay at that temperature while you're driving, because otherwise you'll lose, and it's pretty much the same with the gas, to be honest. To light the gas will be this one here, and the control for it. Here we have the sink and the tap. Running water, must be a little tiny bit left in the system. There's a little bit of water came out of there. More storage underneath, cutlery in this one, pots and pans generally in this one, and also the rubbish bin. We've also fitted a couple of sensor lights here, one pointing at the door and one pointing into the van. Very useful for coming home at night, and this one especially for getting up in the middle of the night if you want to go for a tiddle. Talking of tiddles, here's the bathroom, and you've got your Thetford toilet down here, and the control for opening and closing the flap there. Toilet roll goes under there, so it's nice little storage there for actually keeping it dry. And storage here, storage here, also gives you access if you get a problem with your tap, which you did have. Here's a control for your water, and that'll be hot and cold depending how far on you turn it, and also depending whether you've got it set for hot, cold or both. This tap actually just comes out, and there's actually a shower head. If you pull it right up and out, you can adjust that on the end there as well. It hooks up here, so you take the fly screen off and you can hook the shower up here, the shower head, and then the curtain right the way round, so you don't get a wet wooden door. At least not much. Oops. Right. Vents are closed at the moment in case we pop off anywhere. It's very easy to forget and leave them open, especially this time of year where it can be a bit breezy. You could end up losing your vent top, which is an extra expense. And again, you can see that there's also a heat outlet here from the fire when it's on, so you actually warm this part of the room up, which is great if you want to hang something up to dry when you've got the heating on. We have storage underneath the seats. This, I suppose, is our main storage, where we tend to keep a couple of camp seats. We've got our spare water hose. The second leisure battery is down to the right there. You can also see one of the brown coloured pipes, which is for the take the heat through the van. We keep our hookup cable and other odds and sods under here because it's quite a big storage area. We have storage again underneath this one here. It's not quite such a big storage area because we've got the part of the gas locker obscuring the space down there. So, but there's about 2/3 of the seat as storage underneath, I suppose. Underneath this seat, you've got the water tank, and the water tank pretty much takes up the whole area. I think it's about 80 or 100 litre, something like that. It holds.
100 litre.
Yeah, possibly 100 litre, as Jane says. We keep the dogs in this cage because in Spain they have to be secured, and that's a good way of securing them. Plus it's also good if we need to pop out for the shops for an hour or whatever, and they can go in the cage rather than be out and ruining the van and going bonkers. But that does mean that we can't use the table in a normal sense, so this will actually be laid on top of the seat over here when we're travelling. And the dogs are used to being caged like that, so they travel very comfortably. We've got a little TV up the corner there, and up above, which was an extra that was fitted by whoever owned it before, presumably, is aircon unit, and that's all in good working order. But it takes a fair bit of juice. Also, which you can't particularly see that clear because of all the junk in the bottom here, but you've got the gas valves in here and also water drain in there as well.
We've got this big wardrobe.
Oh yeah, we've got the wardrobe. Yeah, I did want something a little bit bigger so I could store Jane in there, but unfortunately she doesn't fit comfortably. We've got the gas cooker which cooked Christmas chicken in from takes little gas cylinders, and the next day had jacket potatoes, and the gas cylinder still hadn't run out, so that's really good. We've got more storage this side where we tend to keep the food, and there we go for another socket that runs off the inverter. So we've got 3, but we tend to use an extension in case we want to take something to when we sit opposite the dogs. So we have extension cable plugged into one of these, whether it's the main hookup or whether it's the inverter one. We've got the CO2 and smoke detector there as well. I think pretty much, other than the other vent that we've got up here which have fly screens, all of the windows have fly screens. I can probably quickly show you that perhaps. You have blinds on all the windows, okay, which hook like so. If I actually can use the right control in the middle, they'll go up and down rather than use the wrong ones. And up the top you pull down, and we've got flight screens on all the windows, and this will clip down into this one. That's what I accidentally had hold of, where the fly screen clicks into. So you can actually have part and part, blind and fly screen. To open the windows, make sure you press the buttons on all of these to release the control so you don't get damage, and then you can open the window and tighten so that it stays open, both ends. I won't bore with both ends, and loosen to bring it in, and click 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 click. So there we are, that's the windows. Well, I think that's about it for Doris. You can just see the panel up the top there, which is the inner part, which is blanked off. So again, it's quite aesthetically pleasing. As we didn't really need the window at the front there, it was done in the cost, no extra. So and it gave the company a good chance to have a look to see what the wood frame inside was like when they took the old window out, to see if there was any rotten wood, and none whatsoever. We've got no dampness or water ingress in Doris at all, touch wood. But we have got ventilation windows each side, so that's why we weren't too worried about the big window there, as there's certainly enough light comes through these side windows which can open or have the shutters up or the fly screen, whatever you like again. And there we go, that is Doris. Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the video.
And apologise for the shaky, but Jane has got Parkinson's, so it's a bit awkward to have a steady camera.